Hi, welcome back to the Truth Doctor Show. I'm Dr. Courtney, a licensed therapist, and today I'm reacting to episode 6 of season 1, The Last of Us from HBO. Our last episode ended with an extremely traumatizing scene that I have unfortunately been replaying in my head over and over again. I don't know if any of you have as well. Likely some of you have more than others. I'm hoping that they will sort of recap this in a certain way, maybe help us process it in a certain way, and also just maybe make an episode that's a little bit lighter. Let's see what happens. Oh, right open to this? Why?
And the gun.
Who the hell are you?
Just someone passing through.
Oh.
You made him soup?
Yeah, I did. It's cold out.
We're somewhere here. Exactly where? And your answer better be the same as your wife's.
You told them.
Came here before you were born, Sonny. Get the hell away from everybody.
I didn't want to.
I like her.
You got any advice on the best way west?
Yeah. Go east.
Some infected, some not.
He's thinking about
If
Tommy.
your brother's west of the river, he's gone.
Oh.
Joel, are you okay? Joel?
Shut up.
Holy shit, are you dying?
I'm fine.
Wow. Likely what Joel was experiencing in that moment was a panic attack. And often we really do not understand what actually constitute or causes a panic attack. Panic attacks are different from anxiety attacks. Anxiety attacks occur when something's building up in terms of stress or anxiety in your life, internal or external, and you start to experience this anxiety/fear response as a result of the buildup of anxiety. You're aware of what it is that's causing you anxiety or causing you stress. Panic attacks are different. What typically happens with panic attacks is that you have some sort of trigger that occurs that can happen within you or it can happen out in your environment. What it is it's either a defense mechanism that pushes down memory or a sensation, or it can be something that you're dissociated from that your brain and your body knows is something to be afraid of, or that you've trained it to be afraid of. And so what happens is you have this trigger, but you're unaware of it. And the first thing that you start to experience is the reaction to that trigger. So what happens is you start to think, oh my God, I'm having these physical or physiological sensations. I must be having a heart attack because this is coming out of nowhere. So then you start to experience anxiety as a result of those physical or physiological experiences. You start to panic about the panic, and this is what causes it to be a panic attack. Then what happens is you start to catastrophize those feelings, those physical feelings, and you end up in this loop. You're having panic symptoms, then you're having anxiety about those panic symptoms, which make the panic symptoms worse. We know that Joel experiences PTSD. We can see it. He's had flashbacks. He's had nightmares. He avoids situations that would remind him of the biggest trauma in his life, which is the loss of his daughter, Sarah. There are studies that have shown that 35% of people who are diagnosed with PTSD, and of course we can't diagnose Joel with PTSD because he's not an actual person and I'm not his actual provider, but 35% of people at times who are diagnosed with PTSD have been shown to also be diagnosed with co-occurring panic disorder. Joel's biggest trauma is loss. He has lost over and over and over again since this series has started. And he was just introduced to the idea that he may have already lost his brother Tommy, and that this entire journey of him trying to find him might be completely useless and he might be completely alone. They're really showing that Ellie is getting far more rugged than she was initially. Saying, oh, we just have to cross the river of death, when death used to scare her, and it doesn't so much anymore. If anything, it's switching, where now it's scaring Joel more than ever.
Start. Come down from there, you're gonna break your neck.
He really treats her like a dad.
You can do anything you want. Where are you going? What are you doing?
It's never been an option. Maybe
It's
an
never
old
been an
farmhouse,
option.
some land, a ranch.
Cool. What kind?
Sheep. I would raise sheep.
It'll work, right? The vaccine.
It's a little late to start wondering.
I wanted to save him.
Well, I reckon it's a lot more complicated than that.
In the beginning of their relationship, he didn't even want her asking him questions. He didn't even want her talking to him. And now we're at a point where she asks a question, a hope-filled question. And not only does he answer, but he also asks her.
And what about you? Where are you going to go?
And not only that, but he is able to answer a question for her. So when she says,
But you know who my favorite is?
Sally Ride.
he knows enough about her to say, Sally Ride. I also wonder if it's not a coincidence that he wanted to take both shifts.
I'll do both. Get some sleep.
And these things are very parental-like. They're very guardian-like. They're very protective. Oh, he fell asleep. Oh, no. Oh.
Still mumbling in your sleep. I woke up early. You were passed out, so I took second watch.
One of the things that can happen during PTSD are nightmares. And the reason for that is our brain starts to process that which we do not want to process consciously. That's why we can engage in flashbacks, which are unconscious, uncontrollable memory activations that can be physiological, emotional, or they can actually be visual memories. So his mumbling could very much indicate that he is having very activated dreams. And these could be nightmares. But she says, you still mumble in your sleep, meaning that he has been doing this for a while now. And it really just goes to show, one, how capable Joel is of pushing all of this down as much as he can, and two, how incapable he's going to be soon from it all just coming out and falling down and making it something that he has to address. Ooh, this kind of reminds me of Arcane with the bridge and them walking on it. Like Afraid, because that was the barrier where the two cities collided.
What if this is the river of death?
She's showing some fear. Oh. And so is he. And so am I. No.
You'll be okay.
He has had to protect
near
her
infected?
so
There's no
many
infected out here.
times.
Hell, they're right.
Last chance for a bullet. If you're infected, he will smell it and he will rip you up.
Now her.
Oh no. Oh my God. Four most common trauma responses: fight, flight, freeze, and appease or fawn. This is a perfect example and depiction of freeze mode. This is where, on a survival level, what's going on is there is a threat directly in front of us that we don't believe we can fight off, we don't believe we can appease, and we don't believe we can run from. The only thing that we feel automatically, instantly, that we can do is freeze. Now, this is a very old survival mechanism that we have wired within our nervous system. We get a little bit of an entrance into his inner world, into his physiological world, where we can, sort of hear his breathing and his heart beating, and we can just sense this desperation to do something and a complete inability to do something. In reality, he can't do anything in that moment. If he even moves for a second, they're just going to shoot him and kill him. And so that response is completely appropriate. However, I highly doubt that he's going to take it that way.
What's your name?
Joel.
Do they know where Tommy is? Wow, a full-on city. Wow.
Tommy!
Is that really Tommy? Oh my God. it is. It is. Oh.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been a while since we've had a proper meal.
Actually, I don't think I've ever had a proper meal. This is fucking amazing. What?
Oh, who is that?
Kids around here don't usually look or talk like you.
Right. Well, maybe I'll teach them.
Maybe I'll teach them. Who was that person? This show has so much foreshadowing. This person has to be important, and I'm excited to find out who it is because it's a new character. I'm also not excited to find out because then what if this character dies like all the rest of them? Can we not?
A bad reputation doesn't mean you're bad.
Not always, at least.
What was
Maybe
that
nice to have a
judgment?
moment here, maybe just for family.
Right.
Well, Maria is family, actually.
Oh shit. Congrats.
Whew, there is a lot going on in that scene. First, Joel says, how about a moment for just family? And he's including Ellie in that conversation. In a way, she shows that when she sort of nudges Joel to say congratulations to Tommy for being married, which is so similar to what Sarah used to do with Joel. And we saw that back in episode 1. Secondly, the judgment that she had on Joel was very palpable. She basically implies that Joel is a bad person, that he did bad things and he's a bad person. And it probably has something to do with the fact that Tommy made a choice to, 1, not go after and find Joel, 2, not hold communication with Joel, and 3, not even tell Joel that there was a place of safety and that he was starting to form a family. You could see that look on Joel's face where he was hurt. I think he was coming to the realization, like, I have been traveling all this time.
I came here to save you.
And clearly, Tommy did not need saving, and he didn't even tell Joel that.
How do you keep this place quiet?
Carefully. Being in the middle of nowhere helps. Not advertising what we have, saying off the radio. House of worship, multi-faith.
So Tommy chose his own survival, and Joel risked his survival to try to find Tommy. That is not an equal relationship. I don't think this is gonna go well.
Could do worse.
Oh, trust me, we have been.
We've been doing fine.
Joel is not interested anymore in opening up to Tommy, at least not in this moment. He doesn't want to seem like he's been struggling, whether that's emotionally or whether that's just survival. If anything, he's probably feeling more alone and more disconnected from Tommy than he has even this entire time being physically apart from him.
Thanks for still giving a shit about me.
Yeah. And he can't say the same.
So how's Tess?
She's fine.
Ooh.
All right.
Good then. And the kid?
Oh, yeah. She's the daughter of some Firefly muckety-muck, trying to find her family somewhere out here. I was heading in this direction, so...
He doesn't
Really?
trust him anymore.
Yeah, I can't go.
Oh, come on. I made it across the country. The two of us can make it from here to Colorado.
After I ditched the Fireflies, Maria and her crew found me. They're good people. They didn't have to take me in, but they did. And all they ask is that I follow their rules.
I'm your brother.
Yeah, I'm aware. They're very protective of this place. And for good fucking reason. I mean, folks find out we're up here.
No, I heard. Wrong people might show up.
We have Maria, who gave Joel that look, like some people who do bad things are bad people. And now we have Tommy that's saying, Maria and her people are good people. They took me in when they didn't have to. They've done everything that they could to protect me and to help me survive. When Joel has been doing the same thing, he's been searching for him. He's been trying to protect him. He's taken in Ellie. And so there's this major disconnect. Obviously, they were disconnected. They haven't been talking, which has caused an estrangement. But in the moment, what's happening is a complete perspective clash. Tommy's not capable of seeing Joel as similar to Maria, and Maria is not capable of seeing Joel as similar to her. And it's likely because Maria and Tommy have this connection that they don't want to lose now, and it's blinding their ability to really see the goodness in Joel, and that's pretty heartbreaking.
Those things I did, Tommy, those things that you judge me for. I did those things
Right.
to keep us alive.
Exactly.
We did those things. They weren't things. We murdered people. I'm gonna be a father. Maria's a few months along now.
Oh.
So I just gotta be more careful.
Oh.
Guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll find out. That's all you got?
What else am I supposed to say?
Just because life stopped for you, doesn't mean it has to stop for me.
Wow, this episode is really intense. This, to me, feels like the apex of this series. Everything is sort of coming together from the very beginning, and the pain is so present. There is so much that is not being said. I think Joel feels more alone than ever after he's found the one person he's been looking for this whole time.
Just because life stopped for you, doesn't mean it has to stop for me.
And he says it with this lack of compassion and this lack of grace and this lack of connection that causes an immediate rupture. It causes Joel to do what he has always been good at, which is to immediately put on a defense and to distance himself. He called Tommy family, sitting at that table. Tommy called Maria family, and now Joel is walking out of there thinking he has none. Or that he shouldn't have any, because what was he thinking this whole time trying to save Tommy, the one person that he truly cares about, who in his mind right now does not care about him at all? Oh. Damn, another panic attack. Oh, this is so sad. Joel. His pain matters, and he's just not even capable of allowing himself to feel it, because you can't be strong when addressing that type of pain. You fall to pieces. You fall knees to the floor, tears down your face, and you can't stop. You can't stop when you're living in a world like that, at least in the parts of the world that Joel has been living in. Maybe you can, and you can address it, and you can reduce these behaviors that you have to enact because you're protected with walls like Tommy and Maria are. Joel does not have that luxury. Joel has not had that privilege. It's possible, you know, Tommy said there were other options. Sure, but not for Joel. And that's something that we really need to remember. When it comes to choices, not everyone has the same choices to make. Not everyone has the same options. You know, I specialize in addiction and substance use disorders, and they say, you know, addiction is a choice. Addiction is a choice, sure, but sometimes we make choices and we don't understand the choices that we're making because we're lacking education about how our mind and body work and what it is that we can actually do to reduce our pain. And oftentimes when people use substances, excuse my rant, they're doing so because they're trying to numb pain, and they don't really understand the consequences that they're going to get themselves into and the pain that they can cause themselves and other people, because they're just trying to run from their pain, and they're just trying to keep themselves safe and keep them alive. Often what we see Joel having to go through is he has to choose the least painful option, which can be to numb his emotions. It can be to kill someone. It can be to protect himself and or choose to protect someone else over himself. He hasn't been afforded the ability to heal. And these panic attacks are surfacing because the pain is so immense. It's been 20 years. So not only did he see someone that he thought could be Sarah, but it looks like he also saw someone that he thought could be his granddaughter. Like, this is just so much for one person to handle. So in my opinion, Joel has two options here. One, he can completely shut down, and that includes pushing out Ellie. Or two, he can have the breakdown that he needs to have. It's going to be one or the other, or it's going to be both, and something is about to change.
Oh. Gross.
I'm glad they're bringing something like this up, though, because honestly, like, half of our population is women, right? This is a thing that we would seriously have to worry about. Oh, now she's gonna know.
No, I was an assistant district attorney out of Omaha, Nebraska.
Explains why she wouldn't like Joel.
I put bad guys in jail.
Oh, cool. I'm sorry about your kids.
It's okay. And kid, just Kevin. Sarah was Joel's daughter.
Oh.
There's a whole lot you're not telling me. Good. Herein lies the point. Be careful who you put your faith in. The only people who can betray us are the ones we trust.
After two.
Look at all these kids.
Well, your mother knows.
I see.
Well,
They get the ability to just sit
she'll be seeing you
in
around.
safety and watch a
Guess so.
film.
Good night.
Wow. Even though this is like a absolutely terrifying show, it's still a luxury that we get to sit in the comfort of our homes and watch it. Truly. And I hope we can actually like feel that in our bodies just for a moment.
I shouldn't have said what I said. I don't even believe it. I know you're happy for me.
Okay, this is better.
It's complicated for you.
You've had people go that way and come back.
All of them. What is this?
She's immune.
What?
Ellie. She got infected, but she didn't get sick. Tommy. I saw her get bit myself.
He still
That was
trusts him
months ago.
enough to
Months.
tell him.
She's immune. We made it as far as KC, and then, she saved my life there from another kid. 5 years ago, I would have destroyed him, but she had to shoot him to save me, 14 years old, because I was too slow and too fucking deaf to hear him coming.
So much self-judgment.
And today I thought that dog was gonna tear her apart because it smelled something on her. And all I did was stand there. I couldn't move. I couldn't think of anything to say. I was so afraid. Lately, there are these moments where the fear comes up out of nowhere, and
No.
my heart feels like it stopped. I can't remember. I just know that when I wake up, I've lost something. I'm failing in my sleep. It's all I do. It's all I've ever done. It's failure. And I have to leave her. Joe, it's why you took off on me, right? To make up for the things we did. Well, here's your chance.
I would take her out at dawn.
If you have ever been a victim of something, if you consider yourself a survivor of something, some people prefer one word or the other, and you have ever felt weak as a result of what you were incapable of doing in that moment, all the circumstances matter. And I've said this in a prior episode, circumstances matter. He's talking about the moment where the dog was smelling something on Ellie and he was frozen and couldn't do anything. He's talking about how Ellie had to shoot Brian instead of him doing it because he was too weak and too deaf and too old to do anything about it. This man has been through so much. And when he says, I'm not who I used to be, no, he's returning back to who he was. Of course, he's not who he used to be, because who he used to be was someone that he needed to be to protect himself and keep himself alive. And Ellie is breaking him down. Ellie reminds him so much of Sarah that it is making it impossible for him to keep his walls up and not address this emotional pain. And the more that he's forming a relationship with Ellie, the more that this emotional pain is coming out, the less his defenses are working, and therefore the more weak he feels. Two things. One, it makes sense that you will feel weak when your trauma responses and your defense mechanisms start not working as well, either because you're forced to because of changes in your environment or because you're actually starting on your recovery journey. Recovery can often feel so much more painful. It can feel like you're falling even deeper down into the hole. And sometimes it's because you need to know what's down there. So just please know that if you are feeling weak at this moment, or if you did when you were on your recovery journey, it's normal. And also too, you can only do what you can do in any given moment. We can have aspirations and dreams of what we want to be and what we're capable of, but we can't go against all odds. I know we like to think that we can, but we're not invincible. And when we are being strangled by another person holding something against our neck, we in that moment are incapable. And not us, but the situation has caused us to be. So it makes sense that Ellie needed to save his life. Trauma is so painful, and we are so good at protecting ourselves from it once we experience it. And it doesn't make us weak when that protection starts to fall.
I came here to talk to you.
No way, you're still here. If you're gonna ditch me, ditch me.
Oh, she heard?
What exactly did you hear?
I have to leave her, you have to take her.
Oh.
I'm not her, you know. Maria told me about Sarah. And...
No. Don't say another word.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel. But I've lost people too.
Exactly how Joel
You're right.
feels.
You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad. Now come dawn, we're going our separate ways.
Joel's Sarah button was pushed, and it wasn't pushed in a nice way, which caused Joel to retreat to the point where he says, "You're not my daughter and I'm not your dad." But just earlier he says, "Can we have a moment to talk, just family?" And he did include Ellie in that moment. We really have to be careful to not use people's deepest pain moments against them in a retaliating way, in a dismissive way, in a way that gives us power and makes them feel weaker. Henry touches the Sarah button for Joel when they are down in that bunker and the kids are playing. He says,
"You might not be her father, but you were someone's."
what actually ends up happening is that Joel moves closer to Henry after that. Not immediately after that, he does get up and walk away, but eventually what it does is it allows Joel to move closer to Henry because he brings himself to that part of Joel with a lot more empathy. When we're in heated conversations with the people that we love, we know the most about them, and therefore we can use the deepest, darkest parts that hurt them the most and use it to hurt them. Please keep in mind that we really should not use people's pain points against them. That's really sad. She wanted it to be Joel.
I came here to steal one of these horses and go.
I would have gave you one.
I know. Anyway, that was 30 minutes ago, and I guess you deserve a choice. I still think you'd be better off with Tommy.
Let's go.
Okay.
You know that all she wants is to be with Joel because she feels safe with Joel, not only in everything that she said leading up to right before she shoved him, but also when Joel and Tommy are leaving to go have a conversation and she stays with Maria, she looks at Joel and she says, like, Joel, as like, am I safe? Is this going to be okay? This is the first time I've been not around you, and I just want you to tell me that it's going to be okay. She has never been outside in the real world without him.
There's a place for you here.
He's saying goodbye to him again.
Counting on it.
Adios, big brother.
Calling him Big Brother was a nice piece there. Older siblings tend to feel like they should take care of their younger siblings, so that was probably really hard for Joel to let go of as well.
You squeeze the trigger like you love it. Gentle, steady, nice and slow.
You gonna shoot this thing or get it pregnant? It isn't gonna work. It doesn't aim right. You dick.
Yeah, we were cool. Everybody loved contractors.
Everybody loved contractors. You know, they've both chosen each other. So I think that's why they're emphasizing this lightness. It's almost like for a moment you can just forget that people can just rip your body off and you can die from a fungus.
Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer.
Shut up.
Wow.
Why is that funny?
He's really opening up.
We gotta sing something now.
No,
Come on, man. I'm not gonna laugh.
you're already laughing.
They just left. Maybe not all of them.
Of course. People? Not safe, people. Putting the gun away. Joel, like, oh. Come on. Oh. 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 Oh, shit.
Joe, no, no, no! Shit!
Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no.
Joe? Joe? I don't know where the fuck I'm going. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Joe? Please.
Are you kidding? There's no way. Okay, the one thing that's saving me right now is that this is not the last episode, right? So there's like no way that Joel could be dying. But then again, this show has ruined me over and over again. There's just no way. However, what we can talk about is Ellie's reaction to seeing this happen. She came from a place of like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. She really feels like she can't do this without Joel. She really sees Joel as an equal, right? She talks to him as though he's an equal, but also very much like a parent. In the same way where she was like, Joel, is it okay that I'm alone? Even inside this protected place. Now imagine how she may feel, feeling as though she might have to be alone, literally completely alone, not in the confines of a safe environment. In the same way that Joel was afraid of failing and being too weak to protect Ellie, in a way, Ellie feels that same way about Joel. But it's also about her ability to protect herself. She doesn't know how to protect either of them in this moment. And part of Joel's job was to teach her how to do so. And he didn't get the opportunity to finish doing that. This episode really bonded Joel and Ellie. This episode really showcased the true Joel, the truth about who Joel is. And you know, this show is called The Truth Doctor Show. I call myself the Truth Doctor. Some people don't understand what that means and take it in a way I don't mean it. Now, I don't believe I have the ultimate truth. When I'm working with people or developing the centers that I do, is I try to create spaces for people outside of themselves and within themselves to be able to tell themselves the truth about what it is that they're actually experiencing and allow that truth to guide them towards the life that they actually want to be living. And we saw so much of Joel's truth come out in this episode. I'm really hoping that we get to see what actually happens, because I'm sorry, but there is just no way that they're going to kill Joel right now. Thank you so much for watching this with me. I want to ask those of you who make it to the end of these episodes to please do me a favor. If these episodes have helped you, I would really appreciate if you could share the link. And this is even really uncomfortable for me, but I'd really like to grow the community because you guys have been really wonderful. So if you could, please share this video. Let me know if you did in the comments below, and I'll make sure to make note of it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this show with me. I'm so glad that each and every one of you exists, and I'll see you next Thursday.